Casters, let's dive into our first map.
Well, thank you very much, Alex. Mostly for the handoff, not so much for the death segment itself. That was truly horrendous, Tom. I don't know if you have any comments you want to pass off at the end there, but we had to get through that one live.
Well, I wonder if he didn't throw with our names because he just genuinely didn't remember. I
I'm
think that has
almost 100%
happened
sure.
as many times at this point, but
It might have been the blood flow that was cut off at his wrist, and he just lost.
Life-threatening.
Yeah, obviously. How does he even make it through the day at that point in time? How's it possible? Just can't believe it. What else did we? What else was introduced? Curvy balls, I think.
Yeah, and a few other jokes that I'm not going to repeat because I'd like to keep my job.
Yeah, we descended to the level of spreadsheet humor. That was how deep
I didn't
it
even
went.
know that existed. Like,
No.
I didn't know people could make jokes out of spreadsheets, but I suppose there wasn't that much to say. Maybe it is looking pretty one-sided. Obviously, I think for once you're not the only person on the Danish side. Like, we know that you're a little bit biased.
Just a bit.
Just a bit, but obviously in this sort of scenario, unless you're Moses, I think everybody is going to be a bit biased towards that sort of Astralis side in terms of who they think is going to be winning.
I mean, I think I promised actual bodily harm to Astralis if they would lose this game. I think there's a lot riding on this. And actually, we're right in the game, and already Cutler has taken out the first player. That's Device starting to lead in. That's a strong start, and he's hiding in the back, but actually he's got a little bit of backup. Yes, Ethan going to be coming in with a kill on Glaive, and that's big news. Ricky also up in the vent waiting. Still a 3-on-3 with the bomb down now. And we'll see if he's going to be able to do anything here. Kierbu's on the side itself. Ricky has to get in to help his teammates out. He's already tagged up Dupree a bit. Ethan getting another kill. Now it's a 2-on-3.
Yeah, and actually this could be a bit of a problem because it does leave Dupree locked in the corner with that one pistol player just moving back in. Xyp9x is going to have a lot of work to do, and they've just straight up defused the bomb. Didn't even bother waiting for the players. Kusta with the kit has managed to take them that pistol. And while Astralis, I think they might be left a little bit red-faced after that.
Yeah, they did what they needed, and they kept Ricky out of the vents forever. They just forgot about Ethan. And honestly, I mean, I said this last time, I didn't have any expectation of Ethan going into this tournament. I didn't know very much about him, and I thought, yeah, whatever. But he's really surprised me. I think he's played some really solid Counter-Strike. And as Cutler was saying in that interview, he's a young player, so that could be some up-and-coming talent in the North American scene. That'd be interesting.
And that seems to be sort of this team's, well, almost sort of what you want to talk about, really, like their up-and-coming-ness. Like, you've got the sort of already Kusta. He has been hyped up quite a lot, but quick play this time. Force up coming in from the T side, straight out onto the site. Smoke will fall and leave Cutler outside, and there actually isn't anybody there to really stop them at this point. Backed out, Ricky will be able to get one, but it's still going to leave them in that sort of disadvantage. But, well, they're actually cleaning things up. The bomb didn't go down. They managed to deny it. Not really sure how. Dupree left on the site alone. Does manage to. These pistols have been very, very overpowered today, at least. We've seen so much damage done, but this is just surely out of the question for Dupree.
Yeah, he's trapped on the site. They would have to make a huge mistake to give up this 1 versus 3. And they are just grouping up and trying to find him. He does actually land the headshot on Cutler, but ultimately, it will be a 2-0 for CLG. And I think just a complete lack of respect for Astralis, They got the bomb down in the pistol, and they decided to buy 3 UMPs in the following round. And now an R8 on Dupree. Unbelievable.
Why has he even got that equipped? I can't. I haven't seen that in a while. Like, obviously, I think we saw JW attempt it once, and I think what I remember him doing was right behind someone, going for the right click and completely missing. So I'm not really sure. Okay, we have actually heard.
Oh, no, it's a mistake. They should have allowed the stop. So what, Dupree? Man up.
Oh, right, because it's not actually in
You're
the
not
pool.
allowed to?
Well, I suppose you're not allowed to buy a Negev, I'd imagine, because that's not been put back in either. But I thought the game would probably not even allow you to buy it. I thought that'd be the whole point.
Oh, that's a shame. I had my hopes up. You're right. I guess the Negev is the other one, but
No suppressing fire allowed at this tournament.
no, that's a shame. Disappointment right off the bat. Well,
I like how he bought it as that sort of ultimate BM and then realized, actually, I'm not even allowed to. That's how bad it's got that Valve have had to go, you're not even allowed to buy this weapon anymore.
Can't do that, no. Well, I mean, I do think that even if Astralis sort of take this slightly lack of respect approach in the beginning where they just sort of buy UMPs and try and run at them and see if they can make it work. They should still be able to adjust at the end and make it work, but it's dangerous. If there was any path to for even CLG to get one map in this, it's Astralis playing like this, you know?
Yeah, this is exactly what CLG want. Like, we saw at least Zonic saying, like, no, we're not going to take this as a joke. We're going to take things very, very seriously. They're a good opponent. But to have to stop the match because you've bought an R8,
did he communicate that to his team, I wonder? The Sonic's playing. I'm sure they're so reasonable, I'm not even going to have to say it. He does actually end up buying a Deagle instead, so did he have to reload? I'm not sure. Ricky tapping away in the back, and seems perfectly fair at this point. Wish Cutler would move up a bit closer so they could help each other out, but this seems to be just fine. No armor either on Astralis, so can't see them doing much in this round.
Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity actually for the UMP of Cutler to make himself a load of money. They don't have the sort of best buy when they come up against a buy in the next round. So obviously Kusta, he had enough for an AWP now, but doesn't want to just buy it in case it gets dropped, and then that could completely change the round into the favor of that T side. So just going to stick with the Tech 9. Rest of the players, there's still a couple of UMPs, but we've seen so many through this tournament, through the last few months, that it's not really surprising to see those going into the next round.
Ethan with a boost that always works really well unless you lose control of highway, which I don't think they will because Kuster and Finesse are both there. But that seems to be the one weakness of that boost in the corner, is if suddenly they come running out of the highway, then things can turn weird. Seems like they've gone back into the vent and towards the B-bomb side. And Cutler and Ricky have got a nice crossfire, and they even have a Molotov there to buy time, so this should be no problem.
Yeah, they're actually playing this very, very respectfully, considering what's actually considered to be invested into this round, unless they thought they were going to force up again off the previous round. But, well, Cutler and Ricky just cleaning things up nicely. Not really too much damage done. Cutler has been dinked up, but it's only been by a Glock from range, and that's one pistol that hasn't been buffed to beyond disbelief. And they will actually keep that flawless, so that's a lovely round for CLG going into what should be a decent buy now for Astralis, although still going to have a little bit of trouble with utility.
But I wonder what an eventual Glock buff would look like. Just making the burst fire 6 shots instead, so you just go all the way up into the ceiling when you fire it.
Well, isn't that the idea, like, with Valve? Rather than just lower things, just make everything better until eventually it's balanced because every gun is one-hit kill from any range. I want a Bison buff. That's what I want. I want it to have, like, 400 bullets, and you can just run around corners constantly spraying.
Start firing from T-spawn.
Yeah, just never have to let go. Just one clip.
Maybe one day. Even that dream will come true. AKs all around and just 4 smokes here, so not that much equipment really for the Astralis side, but they decided that for themselves when they bought the UMPs in the second round and didn't get that much out of it. And Cutler already having a bit of fight with Dupree on the almost getting that shot in. Dupree gonna make his way back. Let's see what Astralis can show us here on T side early on. Got the bomb still in the middle, so right now they're just scouring all over the place, but Dupree is still playing incredibly aggressive and very loudly over here. Surprised that they haven't tried to group up and take him down.
Well, interestingly, at the moment, CLG have absolutely no mid control. They're only really watching it from highway, and it is with the AWP, so Kusta should be able to spot them fairly early, but it means that that's so much control that can just come in. You look at the position of Dupree at the moment, and they could even just split through vents and make things very, very difficult. Now, Cutler's already gone past the vent and in sort of aggressive angle, so he can look to hold it. But this is very risky. This is sort of what they were saying on the desk. You don't want to give Astralis this much sort of control, because you give them middle, they can just look to pounce in so many directions, just split you apart.
Smoke into middle. Bomb is down. Cutler still staying alive for the moment. He actually lands that headshot on the pre. That wouldn't have been bad, but now that Ricky's down as well, the bomb side is lost for the moment. Dupree and Device both very low on health, but can they get in here and retake it? One of the problems is that Kusta's got that 1 AWP, and those are from us and a UMP, so the weaponry not really designed for retakes.
Not good to see the incendiary thrown in, but now after plant positions are being held by Astralis. Finesse, again, a player going to be stuck in this vent, and this time they don't have the advantage. They don't have that chance to go for the defuse under his eyes, but they're going to win the shots at least, trading a couple back, and now Dupree's left alone, and Kusta will clean this up. They retake comfortably, in fact, and even going to have plenty of time to defuse that bomb.
I have no idea what Kirby was doing under that vent. It seemed like he saw the gun barrel, and yet he took a step anyway, and that means the first shot from the AK just went way out of bounds. That was really odd, because that should have been 100% a kill. So big misstep there, 4-0, in spite of the fact that Astralis opened up the bomb site without much trouble. And they're going to buy right into the next round here with AKs and not much else.
I am starting to get a little bit worried. Like, it's starting the sort of same way that we saw on Train, where it was a decent start from CLG. But if they can just start racking up some money, getting decent amount of rounds on the board, and Astralis continue, well, to make mistakes, which is something we don't see too often from them, this could go the other way. This time, on the B side at least, there's only going to be Ricky, so this could be a little bit of a problem. He's actually going to fall back out of the site, almost playing for this sort of retake style that we saw in the last round, where just happy to abandon it and come back in now. Again, it's sort of a situation I don't think you want to be doing too often, but if it works, then fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, we're sneaking out Cutler. I don't think he's heard the vent go, because otherwise he would have to fall back, and you can tell that he definitely didn't. So no call being made from any teammates, or he didn't have the audio himself, because otherwise he could have actually guessed that that would be a sort of counter boost scenario. Bit of a shame for him. That certainly loses them all the mid-control. And now, still with more than a minute left, you can see CLG are looking to recover by maybe pushing into main. That would be a great time for it. Device should have gone down already. He's still alive and looking for a headshot. Finesse will have to clean him up eventually, and that leaves it in a 4-on-4 here, with the bomb still making its way back towards middle.
Have now actually taken over the B side completely, so the rotation can come in. It has to be quick from Kuster if he's going to want to try and stop that bomb going down. Now the defense at the moment are completely spread out. They've got players pincering him from the A site as well. So it's almost like at the moment Astralis have every single spot on the map covered, just trying to hold off from all angles. The retake will begin as the push goes in towards Vent, but they've got to be careful because there's still a player on the A site. Now Dupree is actually going to be going down, and still only leaving 2 there, but this flank should be absolutely perfect from Zipic. He's just well positioned, will be able to spot out one. That should be Kuster gone. Ethan's in the same sort of spot as well, and he's going to lose that battle. Now it's all onto Kirby. He has himself 100 HP. Both players are low on the other side of things, but he's going to miss the shots, and that's another retake. CLG will be able to get back onto that bomb, and that's another round for them.
Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? You got to give it to Ethan. There's really no hesitation in his mind. As soon as he sees Sipnix behind him, he's got very little time to make up his mind about whether or not he wants to take the fight or sort of worry about the B bomb side, and he just goes straight for it. So manly play there coming out. 6th round is next, and Astralis, they've lost 5 in a row, so they got the 3,400 loss bonus, and they got the bomb plant. It means they can buy whatever they want, pretty much. And so they have, but the problem with playing sort of a loose and goofy style early on is it's kind of fine if you can come back later on, but the problem is if your team starts to tilt instead and people become annoyed and everyone's sort of bickering, I don't know. I wouldn't risk it. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, especially at this sort of stage in the tournament and going into the sort of next matchup versus Na'Vi tomorrow. You don't want to sort of played in a ridiculous way and get knocked out of a tournament that you want to be winning. They said that in the interviews just moments ago, how they want to be winning this tournament. So not taking a match like this seriously, yes, it is sort of late, so maybe that's playing a bit of a factor, but the way they played so far, it is scary. And, well, 5-0, CLG looking strong. This time they do actually have a little bit more presence over towards mid, taking a different style. 2 players actually over towards white box. They're not going to go for any sort of boost into vent. We really could just like pincer in towards middle. And now, well, Astralis, they're going to look to take over it. But in the meantime, the CTs, they've completely fallen back.
That Molotov was really more for show from Kirby's point of view. Great fireworks in the middle, but no one being burned out in that corner. That means they have to go and check it. There's no one by the sandbags, and now Finesse. This is really good initiative on his part. Moving up, it could actually go a long way to winning them the round, because it is about to be another B push coming in. So how quick is he going to be able to get there? Ricky getting 1 kill, flashbang a little bit too far maybe, but Cutler is there to help out. And now, can they actually make this work? Ricky goes down, Cutler on the side, low on health. He needs backup quick. There's only 20 seconds here for Astralis to make something work, and Kirby gets the kill. It's still a 2-on-3, 14 seconds now, and the bomb making its way up and standing in the fire. Kuster, even beyond the grave, gets that kill. 7 seconds here, and Kirby at a 1-on-2.
Yeah, he has to go for the plant, and this just gives them that time to get up close on his position, looking for the shots, but he'll go down as well. Another bomb plant for Astralis, so it will be more money going into their banks to get another buy. And, well, 6-0 up, the same sort of scenario we saw last time they played, and they're going to take a pause.
It's a tactical timeout called by Astralis against CLG in a situation where Glaive has got 1 kill. Device has got 0. And Sip, Dupree, and Kiebu 3, 4, 6. It's not good enough. Definitely not good enough.
I almost want Zonic to just hit them around the back of the head with the notebook, just as a sort of like, okay, what is going on now, guys? That is some like retake situations or like spots that they've been holding. You think, oh, they should be winning these duels. I just don't know what's going on.
I can guarantee you that if we could tune into their team speak, none of it could be translated live on stream. It just wouldn't be pretty, would it? No, this is the danger. I still think there's a very good chance that Astralis can come back and sort of bounce right back in the game. But it's interesting because if this timeout doesn't work, if they continue to lose another round or two, we'll see how much panic is going to start to spread in the lineup here. 7th round up. And this isn't well, I mean, say it isn't a simulation. It might be a simulation, but regardless, it's currently producing a 6-0 result in favor of CLG.
Yeah, I almost don't want to take too much away from them here at the moment. Like, it's almost like we're talking as if we're waiting for Astralis to turn up, but they've started very, very strongly into this game, and the money is just building up for them. So they're going to be buying for at least a round or 2 more, even once they do lose. And, well, now we're going to just see a straight-up A execute. Nice start from Glaive. He'll be able to open things, but Kusta is there to trade, and on the site is Ethan. He can't get anything done, and now the AWP will be overwhelmed. The Tech-9 doing the damage. And this time, well, the CT side in a retake scenario that they shouldn't have any dreams of winning. They do have a decent amount of utility, and in fact, I would be surprised if they really go for this at all.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I think I would actually prefer it if they both tried for exit kills. Just keep the pressure on the Danish economy here. That wasn't too bad. I actually thought it looked like Ethan was going to try and run through the smoke rather than just sort of run back onto the site. I would have preferred that. He seems like the sort of player that does better having the initiative than he does sort of waiting around for a long time. But regardless, worked out all right for Astralis, so a bit of a shame for CLG. That would have been nice. I mean, momentum-wise, would have given them so much if they could have taken them out right after that tactical timeout. Now, Ricky clicking away. This is a great... Oh my God, he takes down Device as well. Well done, Ricky.
Well, this is perfect because up until that point, they had 4 players saving their weapons. Now they've only got 1. They lose the next round, and CLG have reset them and really do have the momentum to go and look to take this half comfortably. So this is the perfect scenario. That was a wonderful couple of shots as well from Ricky, clearly on point at the moment in this game. And, well, Astralis, they've got to win this round. They actually have to win this round. This time, Device, he does have his AWP in play, but no head armor. He's going to be very vulnerable versus those M4s.
Bad shots going through into the middle. No one really doing any damage apart from a grenade there. You have Sipnix and Device sneaking over by the squeak door. And one is going to open it, the other one going to look for the angle. Device not going to miss the opportunity. That was a quick shot.
Taking a lot of damage in the meantime, but this is where Astralis can just fall back. They've got that early pick. They can wait for almost the CTs to rotate a little bit and then look for a new point of contact. They've still got absolutely tons of time on that clock, and in fact, looking to try and challenge for middle once again. Now, there is a player over towards sandbags and on highway, in fact, so they have a decent position towards mid, but we can in fact see the bomb actually rotating towards this B side, looking to go for that same split that we've seen them do many a time. Ricky, again, he's there, but we lose Kusta, and it is going to be left to him on the site. 45 seconds left on the clock.
Kiebu's still actually all the way up by main. He's rotating the whole team back now. Saying, I got the kill in the middle, let's go. Sees Cutler, Smoker's up there. He's going to try and see if he can move in, but Cutler smartly going a bit closer to the forklift here. He's going to have to go big this time, otherwise there's no chance for any kind of a round win here. He's already been tagged up to 77, and now he's going to try and make the long swing around the box, but they're ready for it. Device in position, Ethan goes down, and Ricky the last one here, 1-on-4. Device will drop him instantly. A triple kill there for him. And as you were pointing out, Tom, that was a much-needed round for Astralis, because they would have been straight back to eco.
Yeah, and the way they did it as well seemed much more controlled. They went for the sort of initial pick, found it, fall back, take over mid control once again, and then even though they had most of their players dedicated over towards B site, and I feel like in the first 4 or 5 rounds they may have just gone for it, tried to overwhelm Ricky, they fall back again and take over A and win with a decent amount of players left. And this is in fact going to be the end of the economy for CLG as well. A couple of rounds in a row is enough to actually set them back, and they're going to be left on pistols for this one.
Ricky with the taser. What's your position on stun gun, Tom? You in favor?
I like it. I think it's good for the sort of viewers, but if I ever get tased by one, it is the worst thing on the planet.
I think that's a reasonable position. All right, so it's for the showmanship. It is pretty good. I like it too.
It's like the sawn-off as well. Like, I love that gun, but for the showmanship. I don't think it's a good gun. I just love it. And the Nova, in fact. I'm a bit of a shotgun man, but it sort of, well, there's many guns that annoy me, though. If I get killed by a P250, I get annoyed. So maybe that's just me getting annoyed at too many things in this game, or the fact that the pistols are still a little bit ridiculous. And we saw that a lot from the Fnatic Na'Vi game. I think they've really showed how bad it can get, or actually most of their games today, but no love this time. The taser's not going to get anything done. It wouldn't have rewarded him with anything but taking weaponry out of the hands, and while Cutler is going to be able to do that with the Deeg instead. He's quickly taken down, and while caught reloading, nothing that FNS can do. And Kusta, while out of the action, it should be very difficult for him to get back in, but may be able to find an exit, and that could be a weapon into his hands.
Oh, what a shame for Ricky. I looked like that was the right idea. Ultimately, not going to happen. And now Kusta sneaking on up. Kevy's so ready for this one. Oh, not ready enough, it seems. Oh, he's trying again. Oh, my God, Kusta. A little bit more, please.
Oh, Dupree's so low as well. Only 3 HP. He has to get away from the bomb. Kusta has already paid for this Deagle, and can he catch Dupree on the way out? Yes, he can. 3 kills, the second player to do that. Just on these X's, Ipix will finally put him down and say, no, that's enough of that, but that's way more damage than he should be getting at the end of that round.
12 and 5 for Kusta, and now it's Finesse time to call a timeout on the CLG side. Scoreline now is 6-3, still in favor of CLG, but it's been 3 rounds in a row here for Astralis after they took the timeout. So I actually think it's a reasonable idea for CLG to take one of their own now. Just calm everything down. Looks like they're buying into a double up setup. See how that's going to work out.
Yeah, this is something that has been talked about an awful lot with this team in general, just because we already knew that Kusta was sort of the AWPer for this team, and bringing in Ricky, it was a dynamic that we expected to see. But what I do like about their team is when it's not working for one of them, they do sometimes switch it up. We actually saw in the game where they won on Cobble that Ricky was picking it up quite a bit more, just because of his position on plat and because it was working well. And I like the dynamic. I do think sometimes it is better to have a primary, so that when you only have the money for one, then you can know what you're doing, but they seem to have that. They know that Kusta is mainly playing that AWP, and in this scenario, hey, a switch up may not be the worst thing in the world.
Something that does disappoint me is the fact that it's actually Kusta going B, because last time on this map we saw Ricky do it, and he was very aggressive with it, and he kept finding kills, so I sort of wish they would have done that instead. Ricky, though, holding over at the A site, so they've got both the bomb sites covered with AWPs. I like this idea for CLG, trying to see if they can win some of the early fights. They will have to battle against Device, though, but not impossible.
It's worth mentioning as well that the damage that Kusta did in the previous round does leave, again, Astralis in a point where if they lose this round, they are going to be hurting a lot. Like, they may be able to get a small amount on the board and may even risk it. They've been doing quite a few ridiculous buys, but if they lose this round, they really shouldn't be buying into the next one, especially without a bomb plant.
Camera angle. Just peace and serenity on the A-bomb site.
For now.
No, nothing's happening just yet. We are only at the 50-second mark. And Cutler's close enough in middle that he can hear them running back and forth. So Glaive and Sip just stomping about there, giving away a lot of what's happening on that side of the map. And you can see Cutler's trying his best to pay attention. If they can make it in through main, and if they can cross Ricky here, then maybe it's going to work out. Actually, Cutler winning the first fight there. Does get traded, but then Finesse shows up now in the back. A lot of Molotov damage onto Ricky, and actually he's going to get taken out. Device, that was a shot through the door, I think. He didn't even open it. Finesse goes down. Ethan next in line. God, we need to see that shot from Device's point of view. Now, Kusta left 1 on 3. I don't think you could see him fully. That might have been a really kinky shot.
Was it the door or was it the wall?
I don't know what's worse at this point.
We've seen some crazy shots already in this game. Kusta, well, he may need a couple. He goes for the AWP fake flash into a Molotov. It doesn't matter anyway. Kyobi will be able to do it. Oh, God. Even now, even after the sort of like scary times at the beginning, they're still going for these just almost comical plays.
I don't know. What is that supposed to imitate? Like a full peek from a person instead of just a grenade? Like, out of control. Regardless, they do make it work, and for once they managed to force CLG back to no rifles, just a little bit of armor being picked up here. 11th round coming up now, and pretty much a default spread. Ricky already down in the middle, and seems like Astralis is starting to gear up again. You know, they had to do the timeout, but now they found the rhythm, running and gunning with the AKs.
Yeah, and again, this is looking more and more like Train, where the first 6 rounds go up to CLG, and then they sort of get that kick in the backside that goes, okay, guys, maybe we should put our foot on the pedal at least a little bit. And now, since then, well, it should be 5 rounds in a row now. One thing that CLG have been very good at is actually doing damage in these sort of ladder round scenarios, not allowing Astralis to build up a whole lot of money. But it is looking reasonably clean at the moment, although Kusta will catch 1 and 2 again. Just doing so much damage with these pistols, picking up an AK. 1 player only on the site at the moment. Now, they don't have a kit, and the bomb is ticking down to that moment where they won't have any chance to defuse it, but they could at least try and make things costly. Hold Dupree in towards the site at the end, although he should be able to duck out now with only Ethan holding with the Deagle, and I think he's going to go down with that bomb as well.
Yeah, it should be pointed out that under normal circumstances, I'm not sure if you would see Astralis just try and sort of counter the wallbang with, with shooting through like that. You'd probably just ignore it most of the time because it doesn't make any sense to just do that. So I think it's another one of those situations where they may be showboating a bit too much and costing them a couple of rifles. But CLG back in it with another double AWP setup. And I would like to see Ricky go aggressive on B this time. I think that would be preferable.
Yeah, take the fight to Astralis. I think with them playing in this sort of flashy style, you have to sit them down. We used to see like the sort of god tier Fnatic do that, on Inferno especially, where they just run down mid and just almost put you in your place, and they'd only start showing you respect if you force them to. And at least to begin with this round, we have seen a little bit of aggression from Cutler. He's taken down Zipix in the counter part of the map. We are going to see Dupree going for a little bit more of a push. Finesse is actually going to make his move back towards sort of sight, and Ricky is going to take him down. Playing passively again, but he manages to get that kill.
Good job indeed. Kusta goes down. That's a clean shot coming out of Kiebi. Ethan, be a little bit careful. Gonna have to cancel that with the smoke, and they're so close to Finesse. I'm not sure he's realizing they're right around the corner, but Ricky will. Gets a kill on 1, and Glaive, no chance at all. So another really good round coming out of CLG.
Leaving just Kiabi. He's got plenty of time to play with and sort of hoping that Cutler will take this peak. Actually, Finesse is pretty low on health as well, so he has a good chance to do quite a bit of damage. The CT side not had much of an opportunity to build up any cash. They've been losing quite a few rounds in a row, and if he can take some players down before they go into that potential reset round, this could be wonderful for Astralis in just making this game a little bit easier for themselves. He's looking for Ricky, who will take the shot. Cutler looking to try and support, but he's very, very low, and this is really where you need Ethan to further go in with that crossfire. In fact, Kirby actually looking like, is he just trying to bait them to push in? I think he's hoping there was somebody in the back lines at the moment, but they are just all playing around that bomb, keeping most of their players alive at least, and going into the next round, well, they've got to make sure that they win it, otherwise they're going to be the ones in trouble with the money.
Yeah, at least saving the AK, and then not sure what that Molotov was about, but 7-5 here, and moving into the 13th round. Right now, Kusta and Ricky are the 2 top fraggers with 14, 13 kills. Kiebi with 13 on the other team, but overall, it's still kind of interesting. If CLG can get them to force, if they can get their money low enough that happens, and you're right, if they lose this next round, then that will be the case. Should be a fun first half here for CLG. So it's already not looking bad at all.
Yeah, the 10-5, it almost definitely looking like it could be on the cards. And well, Cutler just doing work, actually taking down 2 over towards middle. Kyobi is looking to trade things back, but it's Ethan to bring 1 more. And this is a 4-on-2. Again, just going for this challenge over towards middle, but this time they haven't just been handed it for free. 3 players up against them on that CLG side of things. Now, Dupree is going to go back. Obviously known for his entry fragging style, but they're going to have to walk into his crosshair if any sort of kills will be coming in. And you can see most of the players, in fact, just rotating away from middle now. We've already taken the advantage. You can have it. We'll just play 2 versus 2 on the sites.
That was a 3-man stack in middle with Astralis trying to push through the smoke up on the boost there. That's pretty daring. If there had just been 1 or 2 people, maybe it could have worked out, but 3 men was just too much to handle. Glaive and Dupree, 2 versus 4 at the moment, as you were pointing out. They don't really need the mid control. Instead, it's Ethan and Kusta that's going to be the early warning system here. Dupree creeping on in, but Kusta was so ready for it. And Glaive with the bomb in a 1-on-2.
He is not really in the best position to get anything done at the moment. In the connector, once again, sort of just hoping that somebody will push into his crosshairs, but they've just been sticking to the sites themselves, waiting for him to make his move. 25 seconds left on the clock. He does have a decent opportunity to actually get in behind Finesse, and then if he can get that pick, there's only 1 man on the B side itself, and quite a long rotation all the way back from the side. But will he expect them to be here? No, he won't. He's going to drop down, and this should have given them the sound cue, but no, never mind. Finesse has his health or sound even, way too low. That's going to be a free bomb plant for Glaive. Not really sure what on earth just happened in that situation, but Ricky will finish him off, and they are going to get that defuse.
Yeah, that was sort of a weird moment, wasn't it? Hard to say if it was like, you know, the stage audio or something, like the Russian broadcast just being too much for Finesse there. Certainly seemed like he had no idea what was going on, and he probably should have. So, smart move by Ricky, though, actually. Because he could take the high ground so he wouldn't get burned by the Molotov, it's not a bad idea, because there's no way that that Glaive was going to expect that, right? Now we've got a pulse coming in from Device, and it's 8-5 favoring CLG.
Money's not really in the situation where they're going to be able to buy. The bomb plant does help a little bit. We are already seeing them sort of buy down to that 2K marker. But it's still a great scenario for CLG at the moment. They're looking like they could easily take a 10-5 half. And going into the second, we actually heard from Moses that he thinks that a lot of these teams do like to play that T side a little bit more. So getting that amount of rounds, they win the pistol, and this game can easily go into the hands of CLG. Like it's sort of like, how much do we really still look at this as, okay, Astralis, yeah, they're just going to bring this back, but they're not looking like they are at the moment. They're making a lot of sort of mistakes that we don't normally see from them.
Yeah, and probably some amount of it is motivated by just a slight lack of caring, but you've got to be really careful. CLG certainly do care. I'm sure they have much less pressure on their shoulders. You know, they're already just excited being here at the quarterfinals. If they can move on, then that would be truly shocking. Already shut down that attempted, 3-man Tech 9 push for the Squeak Doll. I doubt that was ever going to work.
I'm going to try and rotate back towards this B site very, very quickly. Obviously, just running and gunning with these pistols can work out wonderfully. And with only Ricky here with the AWP, it is possible, but he's already been spotted. They're trying to bait out the shot, but he's just not willing to take it. You know that they have a huge advantage in this round, all the utility that they need to try and slow down this push, and they're just all pushing together at the moment, trying to build up onto this site, but Ricky's now back in, waiting. The run and gun of these pistols needs to get that a little bit closer to try and find him, and through the smoke, Dupree will take his head clean off. Cutler looking for the trade, and with the aggression, trying to catch him. Not going to work out at all, bringing it back to a 4v4 retake, still with utility on the board, and Ethan straight through the wall. Device is gone.
3 versus 4 at the moment. Finesse on a really long flank, in fact, for the whole round. He's been realizing that this was going to be a B push because he was really far pushed up, so I don't know why it's taken so long for them to try and get back into the bomb site. Glaive has gone down as well now. Kiebu and Exist trying to see, Sitnix trying to see if they can stay alive. And Kusta eventually coming through with the defuse. That took a long time for CLG because Finesse was pushed through Squeak and was actually looking in towards the T side of the map. So they had the other 4 players of CLG outside of the bomb site. I'm just not sure why they even let Astralis onto the bomb site. Seemed like they were a bit too confused then. But that shot on Device was obviously hilarious. So a good way to get going here towards the end of the half. 9-5 going into the 15th round here. Astralis, they need to wake up, and it sort of has to be now.
Yeah, 9-5. They do have a decent buyback on the board because of that bomb plant, which probably should never have been, but either way, it's still another retake. CLG have been very consistent, in fact, at retaking this B bomb site, not really allowing them to hold on to it at least. Nice boost coming out from Device, but isn't going to be able to spot anything As, again, they're switching up their style. I'm liking the fact that they seem to change the way they play mid almost every single round. Like, we've seen them go very, very aggressive, and that worked as a perfect counter when most of the Astralis players played there a couple of rounds ago. And now in this round, well, there's only one. It's going to be Kusta with the AWP, looking like he may just peek into the hands of Device, but he's actually playing a little bit further back, so just going to duck out. And again, not really any sort of control taken as of yet, but now Astralis are going to go looking for that mid presence.
That was a team grenade for Kuster as well. So obviously he calls that out from a team. He's like, can you flash? I'll peek. And Finesse is like, I've got it, mate. I'm on it. Just instantly flashing him. Device now looking all the way from Highway into the back of the A-bomb side of it. That's a strong angle to be peeking, especially when the rest of the team is making its way in through main. Device taking out Kuster, and now Finesse, you can sort of tell the panic is setting in, and Kiebu gets a headshot. Ethan goes down as well to Sip, and Ricky and Cutler left on the other side. They have to obviously fight for this, it being the 15th round, but do you believe, Tom?
Sure, why not? Why not? The American dream, right?
Enthusiasm is overwhelming at this point here. Ricky will be going down, and Cutler trying to see if he can move in and just save a bit of face. Not working out, so it will be a double kill for Device instead, but still a 9-6 finish in favor of CLG in the first half here on Cash. Definitely, I think, an underperformance and maybe a little bit of craziness coming out of Astralis. See if they can do better in the second half. That's going to be coming up right after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's CLG versus Astralis here. The final quarterfinals of the day. We've saved the best for last, and at this point, it's CLG leading 3 rounds over Astralis, 9-6 first half finish in favor of the North American team. Definitely much better than I think most people were expecting. Yeah. But we have to sort of, a bit of an asterisk there that just says, also Astralis were playing a fairly ridiculous first half.
Yeah, they made a lot of sort of weird plays, and in sort of scenarios where they could have just kept a lot of their players alive when the bomb was down, they were sort of trying to spray through walls and challenge versus people that they really didn't need to. And we saw, for example, in that highlight reel there, Kusta being able to walk through and get 2 kills with the USP versus the players who were fully bought just because of that factor. So the thing is, though, it gets to a point where like CLG can actually win this. If they get themselves a pistol, get themselves a decent start on the T side, and Astralis don't buck their ideas up, then sure, they could be taking the first map, and that was not something that was even on the cards at all.
I think that would be very frustrating for the Astralis team if suddenly they, have to sort of start really trying hard, right? They were probably hoping that they could come in and just roll over this. But that's actually a good sign for CLG. A lot of teams would just, crumble to sort of the random run and gun style of Astralis just because their players are so good. CLG is saying, no, if you're going to play that style, we're actually better than that, and we will defeat you. Now Astralis have to take it a bit more seriously, and we'll see if it's going to be enough for to actually come back in this game here. Cutler already having a bit of a way. He's all the way in the back, and somehow they haven't found him yet.
They're on the B site, and Glaive is behind them at the moment. He's gone for aggression, and that's clearly forced a rotation from his team. But now the bomb's going down on B. This is such a weird pistol round just with map control and the duck back through the vents. But the bomb's down at least. The problem is they now have a two-man disadvantage. There's a kit on device as well. And they are looking to pincer back in now. Ethan's actually in the vent itself, managing to be boosted back in, but now he has to try and find something, and they're being cleaned up one by one. Only going to be left, even switching to the knife at the end, and not a single player goes down for Astralis. A weird pistol round, but one ultimately won by the Danes.
Yes, very, very weird indeed. I mean, Cutler managed to draw a lot of attention, and they got him to be clear, but they didn't get any kills. That is a fundamental part of most plans in this game. Up until this point in the meta, Tom, most people have tried to do that. Just base it on kills.
But it was just the way it was done as well. It was clear that Astralis went aggressive. They went, okay, there's no one at B. And all rotate. They had 4 players on that A site, and then just straight back through mid and through the vent, and just then had a sort of surrounding of the CLG players. A really odd pistol to come in. We're not going to see the same sort of force buy that we saw from Astralis. No surprises there. CLG obviously wanting that early buy in. And while not even anything too ridiculous on the other side of things, Astralis just going to go for a pretty safe buy, in fact. They're going to have 3 M4s, a couple of UMPs, a chance to make some money in this round off those SMGs, but it's the M4s that are just sort of that safety factor.
Oh, wow, Ethan. Part of me just wants to see more of Ethan. Can we just leave the camera on him? Because definitely been doing a really good job until this point. Taking down device with the Deagle. Now, Finesse is really close to the middle. If only they had a flashbang or something that could take out Kiebu, then it would be a good setup. But they don't. They're sort of rolling Ethan into position in main. Finesse will be going down. That was the middle part of that push. Which means the rest of it is not going to be nearly as effective. And you see the lack of body armor there, the aim punch, making life hard on Ethan.
They are now beginning to do what we'd hope they'd do. The one shot that comes out from Ethan isn't going to be able to achieve too much. Obviously, it's only a UMP actually lost at this sort of moment in time. And Astralis looking to keep this one as clean as possible. Want to make as much money as they can while playing relatively safe now, just waiting for any sort of push to come in. And, well, Cutler shouldn't get anything done now. He's only got a Glock to play with, and there will be 4 players staying alive for Astralis. But we know for a fact that in the next round there's a buy coming.
God, Dupree is in such a casual mood that he hasn't even put on the team jersey. What's wrong with this guy?
He's got his Astralis pajamas on.
Unbelievable lack of dedication to the cause here.
I wonder if they exist. They've got everything else, haven't they? Like the tracksuit bottoms, the jumpers, T-shirts. Can you get like duvet covers as well?
I don't know. Well,
pre-duvets.
I'm sure right now the Astralis Twitter account is tweeting at you saying, yes, please, for the love of God, visit our web store. Check it out. We've got everything. 18th round here. And there are AKs back in the hands of CLG. I'm getting that feeling again now that Astralis have sort of slipped into a place of just extreme comfort and sort of overwhelming feeling that they've got this. It's no problem, you know, they're just sort of rolling through. Can CLG knock them out of that frame of mind? That's the big question here. Can they deliver a blow that's big enough that they sort of say, oh, damn, okay, we've really got to do something here?
Will that be map 1? That's what I'm wondering. If that will have to be the case that wakes them up, that, okay, we've lost the map. Mid-control going to be attacked by this T side. Only Kirby there to defend it. Has a little bit of support from Zippix as well, pushing back in, and the vent boost will just, well, completely shut them out. They're surrounded at the moment. Kusta will be able to get 1, but, oh, actually, Ricky's the one to get 2. Doing a bit of damage, but still, it's a 3 versus 1. Not really much hope left into this round. Bomb on the A site as well isn't going to help him out anymore, as it would be a crossover to get away and also then have to try and get that bomb, but he's going to challenge Zippix and lose the battle. So Astralis are going to break that early buy and, well, even up the scoreline.
Yes, indeed. You can tell that Sip has decided to join Kirby and actually sort of trying a bit harder here. Got 14 kills now, 21 on Kirby. And the scoreline is 9-9. And again, the lack of bomb plants here and just the last 2 rounds, no bombs have gone down. We'll see if it's going to change later on. I wonder if CLG aren't playing, yeah, a bit too respectful here. I'd like to see them go for something crazy.
Yeah, we didn't see too much aggression from them even on the CT side.
Yeah,
It was like a couple of pushes here and there.
Not doing it suggests that you've made the calculation and asked, is our default better than Astralis? And said yes. Which is also madness.
Finesse able to pick off one at least. They've been good at keeping these rounds costly for Astralis as a minimum. But they are, well, they're sort of stuck in the mud at the moment, trying to make their way forward. Will just look to fall actually into checkers with the bomb, which again leaves them even more surrounded. Dupree just happy to sit on the site. The rest of the team slowly moving in from other angles. And with that bomb there, the chance of them getting out of here is just so slim. Device, he wants some revenge. He got wall banged in the first half, trying to do it himself, but not going to happen. Finesse will go down, and every single player just being cleaned up one by one. Cutler left with the Deeg, and he will fall as well. 4 players surviving. Astralis catching all of those players fairly easily.
All right, let's see CLG. AKs, a lot of grenades, in fact. Still would love to see something more adventurous, something more daring here. Just any kind of craziness that you can come up with that's going to throw Astralis off guard. I don't think it's worth playing default versus default when the sort of the gap between these two teams still is pretty sizable. So I would say now is the time to pull out some of the craziness you've been practicing. The Device going to win that first fight against Kusta. They need a quick follow-up. Cutler's also gone very low through the wall.
He tries to get something back in there, and it's just a pre-fire from Zipix. Not going to be helping this situation out anymore, as they do look a little bit deflated in the last few rounds. Now just sitting with the default, possibly expecting Astralis to show some more disrespect and try and catch them out that little bit further. But, well, it seems like they've learned their lesson. They are sitting fairly passively, although quick trade will come in. We lose Ricky for Glaive, but that keeps them at advantage over on Astralis. And again, not really going for anything audacious, just waiting. They're going to let CLG push into their hands.
Everyone gravitating towards this side. Sip sliding up just to see if he could spot anyone in main. That Molotov is actually pretty good, going to keep them back for a while. 40 seconds, they are showing themselves. Ethan, can he go for the fight here? Oh, he will win it. I think he's so good at these fights where his sort of crouch spray transition just works out really well for him. Finesse, on the other hand, tries to escape after putting down the bomb, and now it's a pretty long flank coming in from Dupree as well. So with just a combined, 43 health is, or like, 23 health is not going to be good, is it?
Yeah, and they still have an incendiary to be thrown out as well. So low on HP. Ethan just stuck in the default position, and they know exactly where he is. The spot from Cutler, he will actually be able to get one. Looking for more onto Dupree, has to hit the instant headshot, and the problem is the bomb is not planted for him. The defuse can just come in. He's going to actually try and throw the Molotov back onto the site, but it bounces off, and Kirby is just going to be able to defuse. Nothing he can do. Going to hold on to his AK, at least something to play with in the next round, and the rest of the team will actually be able to buy up. And, well, now we actually see the pause come out once again from CLG. Need to switch up something.
Oh man, poor Cutler, because that actually is a pretty good idea. And it would have worked only because Kirby was down to 74 already. So as everyone knows at this point in time, if you start the defuse and then the Molotov sort of lands afterwards, oh wow, then the guy defusing will win that fight. You know, he'll get the defuse before the fire burns him out. Now, but as I was saying, he was on 74, so if Cutler actually got that, maybe it would have ticked over in time. So I kind of like that idea. That's a real shame. 11-9 scoreline, moving into the 21st round. There was a quick timeout, I think, by CLG here, trying to see if they could find a way to stabilize. This was another fairly slow round from them, where they were just sort of trying to take the duels early on. And again, I wouldn't try and base my game around that playing against Astralis.
Yeah, it relied very heavily on that pick coming up from Kusta, and
Yeah.
he instantly lost that battle with Device, in fact, with the AWP, and he even did even more damage, as we saw. I thought it was Zippix at the time, but no, just spams that door and gets himself 89 damage onto Cutler. Now, this time they are slowing things down, just playing that default, waiting for any sort of aggression to come out from Astralis, and once again, they're not really going to oblige. They have switched up the AWP position of Device, which is now playing over towards that B site. But this is very passive. They're not even pushing anywhere. They're sort of holding out of A main. They're back towards the spawn. The only real control they have is if anybody pushes middle.
They're taking their sweet time at the moment. But on the other side, Astralis showing no signs that they want to take any of these really early fights. Device, though, is looking outside of B. The AWP, is anyone going to try and make a jump? He could get run over. Oh, he's pushing right into them. Device gets a kill, and he's back around the corner very fast indeed. He did spot a couple of more people, so this could get interesting. They maybe could have tried to punish that if they were a bit quicker, but he manages to get into the bomb site.
Going to throw out a smoke to try and deny any further pushes from this CLG side, and they are looking like they're just waiting to push onto the B side. They've only got 35 seconds left to actually make their move forward. A rotation back from Finesse as he looks to try and hold on to middle and stopping any further rotations, but there's now actually 2 players on the site, and they're going to have to make their move. There's still so much utility just to be thrown down by these CTs. Glaive looking for the kill, gets 1, gets 2, lines them up, burns in the flames as well, but they still haven't got rid of Device. He's just sitting on the site with 2 players to try and get back in, and now they're just using their utility even further. Clean up from Astralis, and they make that look easy.
Oh man, it's gonna feel, you start to feel a little bit bad here for CLG, because getting 9 rounds in the first half sort of, must have inspired a bit of confidence and a bit of hope in them, and it seems like Astralis is saying, actually, we're just gonna end this game here, because right now, it's been just a tremendous amount of rounds in a row here for Astralis. 0 rounds in the second half for CLG. They are buying up with Tech 9s and a lot of grenades. I would love to see them just try and flash their way through a smoke, run and shoot, and see if you can't just, if that can't be enough. They are setting up for the classic A smokes, though.
Sort of the NA way, in a way. Like we have the sort of Stewie of Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Maybe we want to see a little bit of that.
Definitely.
And, well, we might get that, in fact, because this is what the smoke setup does allow with the pistols. You throw them all in, and then you could just go running through those smokes, get close, exactly what you need to do, but Astralis are just not going to let them. They're going to wait. They're going to play this retake game, just sit outside the smokes, allow them to get that bomb down, and just spray through them. And they're doing so much damage. Nearly every single player, I think, in fact, every single player has taken damage, at least from a bullet, a nade, or something from Astralis. Now, they do have a chance to hold on to this, but you have to think that just with all the utility and with all the positional play at the moment from Astralis, they should just pick them off one by one.
Yeah, this won't be an easy hold for the afterplant if you're CLG, but 2 men in the back line. They do actually try and jump up there. Ethan goes down. Now the cleanup crew is coming in. Ricky firing his gun inside the smoke. They're going to know exactly where he is, and no one goes down on the Astralis side. Actually, going to swap in for someone who has a defuse kit. Probably a reasonable idea. Does cut 5 seconds off the defuse. And it will be 13-9 here, favoring the Astralis side. Man, it's, I don't know what the way back in is here for CLG.
Well, I just love the way that Astralis actually played that round. They were just so aware of what was going to be on the board that they just basically said, have it, we'll take it back. And it's just so calm that most teams would have at least had something there, like maybe a player sat back over towards quad just waiting as they tried to push through the smoke. Not Astralis, just, okay, you can have it. We know that we can take it back.
Good damage onto Dupree in the middle. I think that was just a wallbang shot coming out. Not sure from who. Could have been Ethan there. He finds Dupree, so looked like it was. Otherwise, then probably would have been an assist. So poor Dupree.
Poor Dupree just tried to push through a smoke in middle. I'm not so sure poor Dupree. I think he got what he deserved for trying to get through there. And, well, finally we see a man advantage on to CLG. And, in fact, the A site has been completely abandoned. It's only Zippix anywhere near it. And that's where the majority of players are pushing at the moment. Now, this time, it's a full buy for CLG. They have all the nades that they want. They have everything ready and waiting. And, well, Zippix is going to be back in point to at least try and stop them. But, in fact, the Incendiary will slow them down at least, but they're not even rotating. They're still just waiting.
Finally, they're going to make their way out. Sip up on the high ground there. Will fall back down to a default. If not for that flashbang, probably Finesse could have taken him down. Just spraying randomly through the smoke, and now the bomb has gone down as well. Finally a round that looks winnable here for CLG. In fact, I'll be disappointed if they can't pull this one through. They've got Ricky in the middle as well, so they've got a great setup for it here on the American side. Kusta gonna throw out a bit of a grenade to buy time, and he easily takes care of Glaive. Falls back out of the fire and puts up that Molotov to buy even more time here. And this is clean. Ricky gonna be taking their sip, and Device and Kiebu trapped. They can't even escape here. Ricky's got it covered from the back. That's Device going down. And now Kiebu 1 versus 5. Trying to make it work, but it's not going to happen. Ethan will take him out. And finally around here for CLG on the T side. That was well done.
Yeah, really nice round from them. Get that first kill up. Obviously, it was based off the fact that Debris goes pushing through a smoke, but they're patient. They expect that eventually Astralis are going to go for something a little bit audacious, get that confidence, and just try and go for something silly, and they wait for it, and then they pounce. The fact that there was nobody on A for Astralis when the push came in did make things that little bit easier, but they, this time, were ready for any sort of retake. They had everything they needed. They had so much utility waiting, and Kusta almost handed that first kill, just can't quite hit the flick.
Yerby up on the headshot box in the middle. Double orb on the CT side. Dupree being one of them, another sign that things aren't quite where they're supposed to be. Device gets a kill and keeps pushing crazily into Finesse, who will get the kill on him. And Dupree's pushing on the other side of the map. In conversation, even when he's sober, Dupree will tell you that he could also be one of the star orpers of the team, which sounds like madness.
Let's watch. Let's wait and see. Maybe, obviously, I don't think him orping in this game will give him too much street cred when it comes to the AWP play, but hey, it's something. He is up against Kusta, who, well, we know, at least from Moses, has been named a big up-and-coming talent. He has been for quite a while, and he does look very good in this game, at least. So picks up one more, or throughout the tournament, I should say, he's looked very, very good. Yeah, they've got to this stage, which was more than expected, and well, Ethan going to push back out, finds another one, gives them a 2-man advantage, and they are going to be pushing towards Dupree with that AWP. He gets himself the first, going to try and reposition over towards headshot. It is going to be Kusta actually looking for the trade, and the timing may just get the better of him. He's got so many angles to actually watch at this sort of scenario, and that flash is perfect, but unfortunately, not going to be able to gain too much. They should know that Dupree is here, but there we go. He's gone. Only going to get one with that AWP, and leaves Glaive to try and challenge versus 3.
Oh, if they'd gone for the default plant, they would have lost a round right then and there. Glaive could have got the kill and just run away, but they planted safe. Glaive's deciding it's not worth it. I'm not going to try this. So a brief end to Dupree's AWPing career, at least up until this point. It's a good job from CLG waiting for Ethan rather than sort of just trying to man-fight Dupree. That would have been a bad idea.
Yeah, flashed him back a couple of times. Glaive even going to be able to save the AWP that was left earlier in the round by Device's aggression. But that's a couple of times now that they've attempted very audacious plays and they've been punished for them. Device obviously finding that first pick and deciding to continue his push all the way through Squeaky is not something that you can really, well, you can't really say that's a good idea.
No, definitely not. So 11-13, a pause being called by Kievu. They can buy on the Astralis side, but yeah, this scoreline certainly much closer than we would have expected. So hard because, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from CLG, but you want to give them the credit for staying in this and for fighting as much as they can, but it really seems like Astralis have like a different gear that they can switch into when necessary, and at that point it becomes hard for CLG to hold on. So if that's true and if it keeps happening, are Astralis going to let them get much closer, or are they going to be able to do that and just close out this map?
It's sort of just the way that you see when they do win a round. It's like, it's unusual for you to see a team have like a round where they lose very, very closely and then win one with every single player staying alive. Like that shouldn't really happen if it's a very, very close game unless they do something ridiculous. And a lot of the time it's just, okay, they get their first couple of picks and then the round is done. There isn't really any sort of comeback from CLG. And we saw that in the earlier rounds at least, but this time he does hit the shot. Kirby is gone. Dupree is trading straight back instantly, playing very aggressively in mid once again. We saw him try and run through the smoke, but he's still going to win both duels. Cutler trying to trade, and, well, the man advantage game by Kusta is gone in a matter of seconds.
Kirby having blind faith in that smoke in the middle, but didn't go up quick enough now. A lot of trouble here for Glaive, but he actually wins that fight. Looked like he was about to try and peek Ricky, and he could have got taken out. Now, Grenade will eventually finish him, and we'll see. Ricky and Kuster are left here 2-on-3. And they've got the time, but Device is right behind them, actually.
Decent position sat in the vent at the moment. No real hope for them to be able to rotate back in as Device is just holding, so they are going to have to push onto this B site. Dupree actually going to go through the Molotov. They should have heard it, but again, no real reaction. Eventually, Ricky will be able to trade, but now he's in a 1 versus 2. Device slowly pushing in behind him, just going to hold the angle on the flank if he does try and fall back. Xyp9x as well, just waiting outside as they look to just go for a retake if he plants on that B site. I mean, he's just going to be looking to clear angles. He's got plenty of time to play with and may be able to even look for a pick. That could be a nice way to go about it. Try and isolate one of these 1 versus 1 duels, but can he really expect this spot? Yes, he can! Xyp9x is down, and now it's all onto Device. 1 versus 1. AK versus AK as he drops the AWP that he had just moments before, and Ricky just needs to try and gamble on a spot, try and work out where Device is currently playing. Just shoulder peeking a couple of angles, but he's not going to win it. Device will take him down, or maybe pick back up. No, he's actually just getting himself a kit, and that will be another round on the board for Astralis.
Oh, such a shame for Ricky. That was a triple kill that he got in that round. Brought his team very close to a good win there. They still have the money on the CLG side, even after losing it, so it's not really the end of the world, but that actually came dangerously close. So smart play from Ricky in that 2v1, actually. So 14-11 is the scoreline here. 2 more rounds for Astralis, and they're going to be able to walk away with the first map. And problem for CLG is obviously if they don't win this one, then they're going to have no money left for the last one. Then it's really going to get ugly.
Yeah, the other thing is as well is we're not sure how proven they're going to be on Inferno, which is obviously the next map, which Astralis have brought into the pool. The third and final map is Train, but, well, with shots like that, it doesn't look like we're going to get there. Ricky will be able to trade at least onto Glaive, but, well, Finesse, in fact, looking to just throw out a bit of utility, hoping to pull possibly a rotation from this CT side, but they've not budged. Not a single player has even moved based off the nades that he's just thrown. He's looking like he was tempted to throw a close Molotov, and that would have been perfect because there is a man sitting there. Kirby in the corner. Has lost his life a couple of times in the last few rounds, but this time he has support from Dupree, who is just going to be over towards Sandbags. And, well, we know he's feeling pretty confident at the moment, the peaks he's been taking.
See if Ethan can win another one of these fights. As I said, I think his spray control has been really remarkable. He's been doing a good job. He's going to try and tap away. Does select the Molotov for a second, thinks about it. And maybe it can be done if they can get the kill on in the mid control here. That would certainly help out a lot. Over at the A bomb site, it's just Device holding the corner. And they're coming out of the squeak door. 3 people running right in, and Device has to move over towards the forklift instead. Now, can they get the bomb plant in? It's so close, and Device missing the shot. Finesse going to go for the plant, and now 4 versus 4 for the retake.
And they've actually rotated that player back into main, so they have a decent position. The problem is the bomb isn't really planted for that spot. It's default, and while Device is still here, just doing damage, finds one, another for himself, leaving only Finesse to try and fight back through this smoke. And Dupree even just going to spray him down. Doesn't even need to think about it. Easy retake once again on A. 15 rounds come in for Astralis, and maybe the bomb plant will help.
It looked like none of the CLG players could see anyone that they were getting shot from at that point in time. They were just, half of the kills were through smoke or at least from an angle they weren't looking at. 15-11 map point currently for Astralis and CLG. Actually had a bit more. That bomb plant really helping them out.
Yeah.
So without that, I think it would have been dire, but they do make it work.
They have a chance in this scenario. It is looking like the CT side from Astralis, or when they're not just pushing through smokes, is very, very hard to break down. Haven't been able to win too many of the opening duels. Kuster has done a decent job with this AWP, but when he comes up against Device, I think he's lost every single time.
Yeah, and a lot of it has been over in main. Device just very much on point. I mean, you think he's at the bottom of the scoreboard. He's actually overtaken Glaive and Sip, so slightly better for Device, but still not good enough for Kuster yet to be able to take that battle. Still very, very calm from Astralis. They're not going in for anything crazy. They're just waiting around for CLG to make up their minds.
Yeah, I think it has only been a couple of times. I think mid is the main place where they take these pushes to try and find out information. Other than that, we haven't seen any aggressive B pushes. Haven't really even seen them take over main, which is actually quite a common play to make on the CT side. But with players like Device just enabling them to have a man advantage in most of these rounds, it makes things very, very difficult. Mid control or highway control at least does fall for a second to Ethan, but they just have 3 players over towards this A side at the moment. Device, well, that's an angle. No way Kusta's checking that, and the flick ends the life of one. Finesse will be able to trade him out at least, but still, man advantage sits with Astralis.
3-on-3 right here. Kebu gets a kill on 1, and now it's all left up to Ethan. He can't do it. 16-11 in favor of Astralis here for the first map, as CLG go far, and I think further than most people would have imagined, but not quite far enough to win the map.
I think that whole map has just pretty much been personified by Glaive's reaction at the end, where he just goes, that was pretty much like, okay, we took a little bit longer than we should have done, but they didn't really look like they were breaking too much of a sweat.
Yeah, so that was the first map, and it was also picked by CLG. The second map is obviously going to be on Inferno. We have to expect that probably Astralis are going to be quite strong on that one, and we'll see about CLG, though. I mean, it's still such a new map that there could be surprises that we haven't thought about yet, but very much a good win there for Astralis.
Yeah, I think the thing has to be taken into account that obviously CLG are probably going to be the team doing much more research going into this game. So
yeah,
maybe they will have something prepared for Inferno. I think if they really wanted it out of the pool, they would have sort of gone for the ban. But obviously they wanted Nuke out as well.
Yeah, and I can understand that. That is not an easy map, I think, to play against a team like Astralis. So interesting stuff. I feel like CLG at some point in that map managed to sort of have Astralis respect them. But in the end, even that ran out, and it just seemed like it was too much.
When they got to the CT side.
Yeah, exactly. The CT side was overwhelming. Now, we do have the desk ready. And Alex, if you are still having trouble with your curvy balls, I have an iron in my room. Maybe we can sort that out later on. But please, do tell us what we just